You're watching Morning at NTV.
Hello there, you're watching Morning at NTV. Many thanks for still staying with us. And yes, we are heavy on hashtag Morning at NTV across all the social media platforms. So let's talk, all right? Also, feel free to tag us directly at Malaki Velodera or at Romeo Busiku. That's again across all the social media platforms. And just in case you're stepping out, you can subscribe to us and make sure that you're streaming us live. Just head on to Facebook or YouTube pages. Look for NTV Uganda, and there under you'll find the Morning at NTV live stream, all right? So let's talk. We're getting into a TechNote conversation for the day, and of course it's matters farmers and a particular fruit factory that of course has been top of conversation amongst us. Now, we do have a conversation that is quite interesting. Like I said, farmers and this particular factory in Teso, but allow me to take this bumper and we'll be back with just that. Now, launched in April 2019, the Soroti Fruit Factory has been and was seen pretty much by many farmers as the avenue to outright wealth. With a capacity to produce 129,000 metric tons of oranges and mangoes annually, it came as a shock last month when the State Minister for Finance in charge of planning, Mr. David Bahati, said the major challenge the plant faced was farmers grew fruits which are not suitable for juice production. For more on this predicament, of course, in studios we have Mr. Douglas Ndawola Kachuchu, the Chief Executive Officer of Teso Fruits Limited, to help us understand what could be the case here. Many thanks for making time.
Thank you.
And welcome to Morning at NTV.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Help us to put this wrangle into perspective. The farmers are disgruntled. They're saying that over the years, of course, since the establishment of the fruit factory in 2019, a feasibility study was done, a go-ahead was given, a cooperative kind of share was there in terms of the ownership of the fruit factory, 20% for the cooperative farmers, 80% for government, and then this, they get to a point whereby they have to watch their fruits rot. What is happening?
Okay. Thank you so much, all our viewers. One, I will not go into what Honorable Bahati said.
Why not?
Because he is a superior officer. So I'll come with my version, which is on the ground. Okay? Like all of us know, the plant was launched by His Excellency in April, on 13th April 2019.
Mm-hmm.
We started commercial production and operations in October 2019.
Correct.
Now, since that time, we have procured oranges, local oranges, which include Valencia, Hamelin, and Washington Navel. And I think by yesterday, the oranges we had reached 2.19 million
2.19 million
kilograms.
kgs.
Yes.
In terms of
And
procurement.
Procurement.
From when you started
crushing.
Commercializing.
Yes.
Okay. So from October to date.
To date.
It's 2.19 million.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the oranges.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the mangoes, we have so far procured close to 384,000 kilograms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the issue? Why are we giving farmers mixed information? We are a business, a startup. Okay. We have launched in a year where in the whole world there is a bumper harvest. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bumper harvest because of the rains. Our neighbors have also not participated in buying.
Correct.
Okay. Now, the objective of this project is to enhance household incomes. That
Kick out poverty,
kick
literally.
out poverty.
Yes.
Now, how are we going to kick out poverty? By creating demand for the available fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we need to create demand by competing with other buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we find ourselves in a scenario where we are almost the only buyers. True, we are buying, okay? True, the project was meant to maybe, in quotes, benefit 9 to 11 districts, okay? Now, right now, practically what is on the ground, the project seems to attract close to 39 districts. Are you going to tell farmers from Butaleja with mangoes to Gawe?
Let me ask you a question. You see, when this particular plant was established,
Yes.
a plant worth 48 billion Uganda shillings,
True.
financed by a grant gotten from Korea, we're looking at 8 million USD, and government topped up with 2 million USD to make sure that we have a plant that will create a direct market for these particular farmers. You rightfully said that the external buyers were no longer coming. So we're having farmers who have produce nowhere to take it to. So the actual agreement, when I was looking through this particular kind of document, so to speak, doing my research, I realized that the initial agreement was that the plant was supposed to be directly procuring this produce from the cooperative union.
Yes.
A cooperative union which has a 20% stake in the plant.
Yes.
So is that still the case? Or are you finding yourselves in a situation whereby you're now procuring from farmers who are not members of the union? What is happening?
What is
honestly
happening?
on ground? Because the cooperative union farmers are disgruntled.
I know they're disgruntled, but I think you know the shortcomings of cooperatives. That is one. Two, there are months when we are not working.
Why?
Why we are not working? We issued LPO to one cooperative union because of incapacities in terms of logistics, in terms of labor, in terms of finances. They were unable to supply. So, if you want to export inefficiencies from one entity to another, get stuck to that entity. What do? You go and sit and decide. Let you advertise. Let farmers create farmer associations, farmer cooperatives. Let them compete. If you are from a Gweng, okay, it is, I think, it is impractical on our behalf to believe that somebody in Palisa, somebody in Lango, may automatically subscribe to the same cooperative union.
So it's a case of wanting to open your wings to more.
We open such that let these cooperative unions compete.
But
However, we give the main cooperative union preference.
Which is the Teso Tropical Fruit Cooperative Union.
We give them preference in terms of price, in terms of they will receive. And I don't want the public to mix up issues. It is one issue to be a shareholder. It is another issue to be a supplier. Now the business cannot collapse because you, who is a shareholder, you have failed to supply.
So are you saying that this cooperative union, the Teso Tropical Fruit Cooperative Union, lacks the capacity to supply?
That is the real truth.
Is it a logistical capacity or a production content in terms of supplies that is needed by the factory kind of capacity gap? What are we looking at?
We are looking at a cocktail of issues. One, if the factory is crushing 55 to 80 tons per day, will the cooperative supply it? We have tried practically. They will not. Two, we need to help this cooperative they get trucks, they need training, they need staffing. Maybe they need to be visited and you see how they operate also.
But according to the cooperative union, this particular cooperative union also has a chairperson, Mr. Jorem.
Yes.
And he was giving out figures, of course, was interviewed by our sister, of course, outlet, Daily Monitor. And he said that the cooperative farmers have a capacity to produce 800,000 tons of oranges every day.
True.
So are you still saying, and we currently know that what is operational in the factory is the orange line. The mango line is...
It is also operational, but
it's defective
True.
as we speak.
True.
So according to the chairperson of this cooperative union, they're saying in terms of capacity, in terms of the production content that is needed, they actually have a surplus. that the factory cannot foot costs for. So why are you saying they don't have the capacity to supply?
No. We are mixing issues.
800,000 tons every year.
You have the capacity to produce the 8,000 tons.
Yes.
At one point, I think last year, if I've not forgotten, the journalists were saying white elephant lacks fruits. And at that time, we had issued LOPOs to this cooperative. And we were also worried because there was no scientific research or census about the availability of fruits. Okay? Now, the fruits were there or not there in quotes. Okay? The farmer chairperson has confirmed to you that the fruits are there. What was missing? The logistics to get the fruits from point A to the factory. Now, when we told primary cooperatives, associations, farmer groups, just mobilize and deliver, we got choked. Then we started scheduling them.
So who's telling who, and who's telling the truth? And apologies for holding you and putting you on the spot,
Yes.
because we need to get to a solution, and maybe also for the farmers to get to understand, because you know that as much as cooperative unions and these farmers have leaders, there's always information gaps. So I think this is an opportunity for you to lay things clear. You're saying that the major gap was in terms of logistical capacity. According to the same chairperson of this particular cooperative union, Mr. Jerem, he said that the cooperative union procures this supplies, we're talking of oranges, mangoes, etc., from the farmers directly. And the factory ought to directly buy from the cooperative union, not directly from the farmers. And so the cooperative union procures a kilo of, for example, oranges from the farmers at 600 bob. No, at 400 bob, beg your pardon, and then sells to you at 600 bob, meaning there's an interest, like a profit made of 200 bob.
True.
Which he says that 200 bob per kilo is put together and helps them foot the logistical costs. So how comes there's a logistical crisis here that you're talking about, that he says is not an issue? They've already found a way of covering it.
Now that is not my question. That is his. That is
He
for
sa-
TEFCO,
now,
not for me.
now he says logistics is not the issue. The issue is that the factory does not have the capacity to procure the surplus that the farmers have. And on this other side, we are having, of course, the state minister, Mr. David Bahati, of course, in charge of finance and planning, saying that these guys are not planting the right species that the factory needs. So is it an issue of the factory not having capacity to procure these supplies from the cooperative union, of course, directly representing the farmers? Is it an issue where we're looking at a question of wrong species, or is it an issue of funding, that you don't have enough funding from government to make sure that you are offering the right prices or paying the right cost to these farmers and cooperative unions to supply to you? What is the issue?
Now, I want to set the record straight. One, government has funded us to go into commercial production. We wouldn't have bought all those million kilograms. Two, we have warehouses full of concentrate, mango and orange. In our working heads as managers, we are dreaming of a juice hub in that region. Okay, anybody with some small money can make a small factory. We give him concentrate, local organic concentrate. You make your juice. Now that will create demand for our product. That will make us buy more. Right now we are operating with one shift. We hope as market peaks, we shall go 2 shifts.
That's another solution.
Then that is another solution.
Okay.
Then we shall go 3 shifts. Okay, 8 hours non-stop. Then thereafter, we go this side of the mag line. Right now, the mag line is a bit defective. Okay, but you cannot tell your political statements to farmers. These guys committed land, time, finances, labor over years. Fruits take years to grow. So we cannot tell them the line is defective. We are buying.
Okay.
But what are we doing in the long run?
Okay.
We are also procuring a mango line, a new mango line. Now, when you procure a new mango line, it even enhances your orange line because the time you allocate for the mango line will be limited. You get your thousands of tons, crush them, go back to what?
All right.
Yes.
So what you're verifiably saying is that it's not a question of the farmers planting the wrong species.
No.
Thank you. It's also not a question of the factory not having enough funding.
No.
Because like I was looking through the figures again, first quarter you're able to get 1.4 billion.
True.
Is that true?
True.
To make sure that you are able to purchase these mangoes and oranges from the farmers' cooperative unions as well. Second quarter, you got, hey, how many times is that? 8 billion from 1.4 billion. So it's not a question of funding,
No.
not a question of species,
No.
but a question of increasing capacity.
Increasing capacity and continuous improvement. Okay? And continuous improvement. The major challenge we are facing right now is that being a government project, everybody is a spokesperson of the project. Okay? Now, for us, we cannot dispute, we cannot put a lot of effort in disputing. LOC5 was say, this one has said, you dispute. No, we are going to, we are in business, we are going to do advertisement. If you look at NTV, when it was starting, okay, you'd get a customer maybe calling from Naguru in the valley. Hello, for us in Naguru, we are not getting. Then the one on the hill says, for us the signal is clear and good. So that's where we are. You will find groups which are very happy. They are very proud. Even last week we were in a stakeholders meeting, and there are groups which were very happy with us. Okay, so I know we shall be there. We are just a startup. Farmers need to be patient, and the cooperatives, they need to behave like businesses.
Okay.
There is nothing.
All right. Now, you know, as you're trying to scale, the other thing is that as much as this is a plant that was established courtesy of funds that are coming from a grant and of course owned 80% by government, it's business at the end of the day.
It is business.
So the big question is, you're producing a juice called Teju juice.
True.
How is the market reception like? Are you hitting your targets, sales?
Definitely we are not hitting our targets, but we are going into now aggressive marketing. Initially, our agenda has been to position strategically this product. If you went into some supermarkets, you'd see it. People call you and they get shocked. This thing has reached Gulu. This thing is now in this place.
Okay.
Now, after strategically locating them, now you come to the media and start aggressively running what?
Okay, we are waiting for your adverts.
Yes, they are coming. They are coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for laying the ground bare and for making us understand what exactly this dispute is all about, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right, that was Mr. Douglas Ndawula Kachuchu, the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Teso Fruits Limited. Keep your questions coming, #morning@NTV. Please make sure that you log in and look at what Ugandans have to tell you.
I will.
All right. Well, allow us to pay our bills and we'll be back with so much more. Stay with us.